Hello, bonjour, and welcome to Intro to French. My name is Sarah, I'm a junior in high school, and I've been taking French for 5 years now. It's been an incredible experience, and I've fallen in love with the language. So first off, I wanted to share this helpful hint with you all. Rosetta Stone has been offering free student accounts during the coronavirus, and I urge you all to take advantage of this platform. It has definitely helped me to learn the French language over the years. In fact, I recently began to learn Korean through this application, so go check it out. Moving on, this is Module 1, Why French? First off, to provide some context, where is France? And as many of you probably know, it's in Europe. More specifically, it's on the western edge of Europe. It's almost twice the size of Colorado, so much smaller than the United States, but it is the second largest country in Europe. The majority of France consists of flat plains and rolling hills in the north and the west, and mountain ranges in the south and east. So the first reason why I recommend learning French is to travel to France. There's such rich culture and history in the country, which makes it a great place to visit. It's a center of art and architecture, and the food is absolutely delicious. But Ranjana will speak a little bit more about culture later. Here are some photos from my trip to Paris, and as you can see, there was so much beauty in the city. It feels incredibly rewarding to exchange a few words with the locals or order at a cafe in French. I felt as if my hard work had paid off learning the language. And here's a fun activity for you to do on your own. So where would you go, and what would you do if you went to France? Take a look at some of these websites and create a hypothetical itinerary. And a second reason why you should learn French is because it's very similar to other Romance languages. Or in other words, languages that originate from Latin. It is similar to Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and even English. Although English is technically not a Romance language. So French can be used as a stepping stone to these other languages, which is very valuable. Another reason is that French is such a prominent language all over the globe. 300 million people in the world speak French. Our society is built upon communication, so learning this language may certainly help you to connect with others in the future. And last but not least, my favorite reason is that French is simply a beautiful sounding language. It's fun to speak and very expressive. I recommend listening to La Vie en Rose in French because this iconic song embodies the beauty of the language very well. And with that, I pass on the presentation to Sid.
Hi, I'm Sid. I'll be walking you through part 2 of your Intro to French course. Here's a list of 11 phrases that's a must-know for learning French. I recommend getting a piece of paper and a pen out, just so you can write this down. Number 1, we have Bonjour. You will hear this all the time, and it's hello or good morning. You could also use salut, which is hi. Number 3, Comment ça va? And that translates to how are you? When someone asks you that, it's polite to reply with Ça va bien merci, et toi? Which is I'm good. Thanks. And you? Number 5. Comment tu t'appelles? Appeler is the French verb for to call, and tu t'appelles means you call yourself. So, comment tu t'appelles will be what do you call yourself? Or what's your name? And you reply with je m'appelle, so I would say je m'appelle Sid. Et toi? Number 7. This will be very important for your activity at the end of this course. We have je viens de. Venir is the French verb to come. So je viens de means I'm from. Number 8. S'il vous plaît, which means please. Number 9 is merci beaucoup. Thanks a lot. When you're ending your conversations, you could use either au revoir, goodbye, or à bientôt, see you soon. With that said, get ready to learn some French culture.
Bonjour everyone, my name is Ranjana and today I'm going to be teaching you about the culture in France. Some of it anyway. France is the world's most visited country. In 2014, 83.7 million tourists had to visit. Why? Well, here are just 6 of the many reasons. First up, weather. The French weather is mild yet seasonal, so it's always a good time to visit. There are some wonderful beaches in Nice at the south of France, and the Alps mountain range also extends into France, and these are great for skiing. So as you can already see, there's quite a wide variety of activities that you can do in France. The nation of France is accessible. It shares borders with 8 different countries, as you can see here on the map. Art. We're going to delve a little bit deeper into art in a few slides, but France has been the home of artists like Cassatt, Monet, Vincent van Gogh. It's long since been an art hub. The heritage. France's rich history attracts visitors. It's had leaders like Napoleon Bonaparte, and was actually the site of much of World War II. Fine dining. French food is famous, and who doesn't love good food? My favorite French food has got to be the macaron. Another quick fact. If you ask for a grilled cheese in France, you have to say, je veux, I want, a croque madame. Croque madame is the French words for grilled cheese. If you ask for pain, that's bread, au fromage, fromage is cheese, you will simply get a hunk of cold bread and cheese. And finally, the romance. Paris is considered to be the most romantic city in the world. Now it's your turn. Why would you go to France? What do you think is special about France? Feel free to pause the video here and try to think of your own ideas, or look back at the ones I've shown. French culture. Now keep in mind that these are just some vague overviews and just some opinions. To make your own opinions about a country, I've always felt that it's best to go there and see for yourself. France seems to be a predominantly democratic country. The French people value spending time with family and friends, and they prioritize life over work. The French children can often speak English quite fluently. The French are passionate about égalité, which means equality. The predominant religion in France is Christianity. Schools. The French schooling system is quite similar to American schooling system. The children go from the nursery school to elementary to middle to high school as they do here in the US. French universities are some of the best in the world, especially for research. Take a look at the image on the right and try to follow the pathway of learning as it would be here in the US. For example, lycée in France is high school in the US. Clothes. Some of the most high-end boutiques and biggest designers in the world are located in or originate from France. Examples are Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Givenchy, Louboutin, Christian Dior, and Jean-Paul Gaultier. I hope I pronounced all that right. Paris especially is a city of fashion. Paris Fashion Week, anybody? Now it's your turn. Try designing your own high fashion outfit. Here are some ideas. Le pantalon, pants. La jupe, skirt. La ceinture, belt. Le pull, sweater. Le collier, necklace. Le chaussure, shoes. La robe, dress. La chemise, button down. Le chapeau, hat. Le boucle d'oreille, earrings. Here's a little bit of space for you to design. Feel free to pause the video here and screenshot to draw right on the slide, or sketch out your own outfit on paper. Moving on to the art in France. Before I continue, I'd like to mention that here I'm only talking about physical art, for example paintings and sculpture, but the French music and French photography is also phenomenal. French music in particular, the French have been known to compose many great classical pieces, and modern music as well is quite catchy. So I definitely suggest Googling or looking up French music on YouTube. Art in France has long been some of the finest art in the world, and this is taking in all types of art. French original works are shown all over the world in museums. Right in my hometown of Boston, Massachusetts, there are some gorgeous pieces of Impressionist art that are traditional and original, especially those of Claude Monet. I'd suggest now to pause the video and look up an art museum in your region or near your home where you can go to check out some French art. Let's start with the Academy, way back in 1648. It was an elite art school started in 1648 for traditional, defined artwork. If you look at any art from the Academy, all the lines are very carefully drawn, it's very proportional and correct. Moving on to Impressionism. Artists like Claude Monet and Mary Cassatt and Camille Pissarro, many of these artists break away from the traditional form of art. They start painting to have their own meanings put into the paintings. For example, this is a Claude Monet piece titled An Impression at Dawn or An Impression at Sunrise. But the point is, it's an impression. You don't see clear lines, you can't identify which harbor it is, but you can see the water, you see an impression of sunlight on water. These sort of pieces were much looser, they're freer brushstrokes. Moving on to a return to the classics. Classic art techniques come back, artists start portraying scenes from Greek and Roman mythology, which is what is meant when anyone refers to classics. Moving on to modern art. Today's French artists, similar to artists all over the world, combine and develop their own techniques. Finally, technology. France has some of the world's best transportation and electronics. Their technology is phenomenal and is continuing to progress. Thank you very much for listening to this section on French culture. Feel free to email me at ranjana@internsforgood.org, and you will find my contact information along with Sarah's and Sid's at the very end of this presentation. Happy learning!